Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming and spending some of your Dreamforce with us. We're really excited to talk a little bit about our journey that we've been on the last year with Frito-Lay and IBM. Introduce myself. I'm Wayne Flake, Associate Partner with Blue Wolf, an IBM company. With me today, very excited, Kevin Buehler, Senior Director of Transformation, Frito-Lay North America, and Courtney Knoll, who's Executive Partner for our Garage and Experience Group. We want to talk a little bit about what we've done, and the first thing Kevin's going to kick off with what our objectives of this transformation have been and some of the results we're going to have. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the approach we've used, which is a little unique approach using IBM's Garage and user-centric design model. And then finally a little bit about the Salesforce products and what we've used in order to do this. This is one of those things where being a Salesforce guy for a very long time, I'm very proud of the fact that we're building a transformation on Salesforce versus just implementing Salesforce. There's a nuance to that, but it's really exciting of how deep this transformation is going. And so with that, I want to turn it over to Kevin and go from there.
Hi, thank you, Wayne. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you spending your time with us. Like Wayne introduced, I'm Kevin Buehler. I'm the Senior Director in our Frito-Lay North America sales transformation. So what does that mean? I'm responsible for all of the applications and technologies that our 25,000 salespeople use to generate the $13 to $14 billion worth of sales we have on an annual basis. Okay, so anything from our handheld device to our CRM application to our smartphones, it comes through my group, and there are a couple of us who are in that group up here today. So our objective with our program in implementing Salesforce was to implement Field Service Lightning, the Sales CRM package, as well as the B2B commerce solution, to be able to take an approach to look across three different capabilities: sales capability, service capability, and commerce capability. It's about telling our sales folks and getting engagement and collaboration with them to be able to say what's expected in our customers' stores and accounts. It's who is supposed to be there for what duration, and then it's how do they transact when they're in that account. It's that simple. It's those three capabilities. So why are we doing that? It's due to the challenges that we face. It's from a consumer level, the consumer demand for our product continues to grow, right? Or we have competitors who are coming into the space where we have to compete in an ever-changing environment with flavor and taste profiles. So it's about how do we offer the SKUs to our customers and our consumers where they want to shop and when they want to shop. So if you didn't know, Frito-Lay has about 2,000 different SKUs in our portfolio. The average grocery store sells about 250. The average convenience store sells about 125. So if we were to give our customers that breadth of our portfolio, they would have selling opportunities to consumers that they're not able to service now. So what we're trying to implement with Salesforce is to provide that solution to work across all of these opportunities from consumer to customer. And then with those solutions, be able to provide our 25,000 employees the opportunity to work in a more dynamic environment. And I'll get to what that means for our company in a few slides, right? But what it's about, it's providing that consistent level of service. So when our sales reps go into a store, we deliver product, we put product on shelves, so Lay's, Doritos, Ruffles, all those products. We take that out of our boxes, put it on the shelves, so our customers don't touch it. The consumer is the first person to touch it. So how do we consistently provide customer service to a level that they would expect and they would have for, that would be typical of a grocery store, convenience store, or any omni-channel environment? So what challenges are we facing? Customers like our Walmarts, our 7-Elevens, our massive retailers, our brick and mortar retailers, they're looking for how are we most efficient? How are we providing them with an affordable solution to their consumers? But on the same opportunity, we have an e-commerce channel that's exploding. How do we provide capability to everybody and anybody, anywhere they want to consume our chips? So we're kind of caught between a place where we have these traditional retailers, and then we're moving to more of an e-com environment. So what are our customers challenging us with? Backroom efficiency. How are we minimizing the amount of product that isn't working for consumers to be able to purchase? Tighter delivery processes. They're giving us a tight window which to deliver, and our 25,000 sales reps have to operate within that window. Order control. With AI, with opportunities to say exactly what the product is needed for the replenishment that's going to be projected, how do we get that right product to the store? And customers are challenging us, saying that they know better than we do. They can do it better than us. So with all of that, we're trying to meet this anywhere, anytime fulfillment, and we're leveraging Salesforce, the sales capability, the service capability, and then B2B commerce to be able to meet some of those needs. And so specifically why we chose Salesforce is it has the ability to deliver in a segmented workforce. So we used to have a account rep, and they would do everything that you would see on this slide. They would deliver, they would order, merchandise, and then they would sell to our customers. That now is being broken up into a segmented workplace. We're trying to offer more attractive jobs to our users, or to our potential candidates, employees. So we have a delivery specialist that will deliver and only deliver. How do we provide them digital capability to be at the customer at the right time, to have turn-by-turn directions, and then to know how much time they're supposed to be spending in that account? Our account leads, they write the order. And again, going back to how do they write the order for that exact replenishment? It's giving them that capability and only that capability that they need to be able to meet that customer demand. Okay? Our merchandisers, they put the product on the shelves. They put our 250 SKUs on the shelves. They need to be able to do it in a way where they can follow instructions and be able to do it in a way that's unique to that customer. Right? So a customer that is a 7-Eleven on the corner that's on one side of the street might sell differently from the other side of the street. How do we offer a unique assortment to those two different customers? That's what we're trying to depict and be able to provide the information on how to merchandise it to an hourly employee. And then lead and sell, that's where it's really about how do we provide our leadership team the opportunity to coach, train, and be able to educate people on how to operate in this multiple role environment. And so this is going to be the future of Frito-Lay. It's no longer one person does it all. It's multiple people coming together as a team and collaborating to make this customer service come to life in our accounts. So I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to let Dave tell us a little bit about what our capabilities are and what we've delivered.
Hi, I'm Josh, and welcome to the Sales Hub Cloud. Sales Hub's a revolutionary new app that's going to make your life a lot easy as Dave's. Morning, Dave.
Hey.
Sales Hub is like a hub for sales, but it's in the cloud, which means less need for phone calls, printouts, emails, sticky notes. Just one tool helps Dave easily manage his team in real time. Happening now. That's right, it's happening right now. Sarah made it to her store on time.
Yeah, I can see.
Yay! Sales Hub uses geotechnology, whatever that means, to automatically prompt team members to check in and check out of a location. It also gives Sarah the information she needs to plan a visit effectively and efficiently. She can check store hours, she can see the location, she can even use the planogram, the layout. She knows the tasks she needs to perform, and also allows Dave to upload instructions, coaching photos. Hey Dave, she's using the planner layout.
Okay. That's what it's there for.
Sales Hub also allows team members like Carl to upload photos, which means Dave can instantly see their work and provide feedback. Hey Dave, Carl's uploading a photo. Dave, I said Carl's uploaded a photo.
Yeah, got it.
When Carl and Sarah leave a store, the Geo thingy prompts them to check out and automatically updates their time cards with how long they were there, which means no more manual timekeeping. And Dave can easily manage things like overtime. Crazy! Oh, hey, it's Ann! Anne wasn't able to complete a task yesterday because she didn't have the materials. So Dave arranged a delivery specialist to drop them off at the store. Way to go, Dave! Thanks to Sales Hub, Dave can easily manage Anne's schedule. He's just added an ad hoc store visit. These guys are good. And that's not all. Sales Hub, where are you going? Sales Hub improves efficiency so you can service more stores. It means reporting accuracy. It means cost savings. It means time savings. It means Dave can take his son to football. It's, whoa! You have to see what Sarah's doing. With me!
Sales Hub for Frito-Lay. Needs no explanation.
Dave! Dave! Look what she's doing, Dave!
So that was kind of a cheeky, nice video that we put together for our field users to be able to announce that we were launching Sales Hub, which is our one application to be able to consolidate all of the capability into one experience for our users, right? So the experience that was brought to life that you saw in the video talks about closing the loop on expectations, right? If I have an expectation as a leader for one of my 25,000 employees, I set that expectation in that application, and it trickles down through the workflow that we built on Salesforce to that particular user and to that account. So like you saw in the video, there's a display built. They're able to take a picture and confirm that that was done appropriately. And then that'll be feedback back to that leader so that they can close the loop on getting those things done in the account. So if we have a customer like Dollar General has an initiative across their 14,000 stores, we'd be able to put that initiative out through our sales leaders. They would be able to confirm that it was done, where today, or yesterday anyway, we would have had to use things like, sending a Google Doc or sending a spreadsheet to be able to confirm between our user and our management whether things were appropriately done in store, right? So we didn't have that real-time data and that real-time picture sharing and the ability for them to be able to say, here are the 5 things I need you to do in store, and I need you to confirm that back to me, which, like you saw in Dave's video, Dave was our sales leader. He's able to now see through his iPad that folks are actually performing the task that they're supposed to perform in store. And that's where we get into some of the capabilities like I described. Retail execution. If we think of our accounts, we're able to depict what needs to be done in each of those 300,000 accounts and be able to funnel that down through our leadership team to our actual users and confirm that all the way back up the chain. Right now we can turn around to our buyers and to our account management team and be able to say execution is at what % and be able to have that conversation with those buyers. When it comes to things like service, I talked about the right person at the right time. We leveraged Field Service Lightning and the Service Cloud to be able to take schedules for our employees and be able to show them at the individual level what their schedule is for the day. So right now we started with about 5,000 of our employees and we plan to scale that to all 25,000. So we're just starting with hourly right now. And then you saw also in the video the aspect of time card. When they get close to a store that's on their schedule, the Geo Assist pops up a prompt. They're able to check in, and then we're able to log hours based on how long they're spending in those accounts. So then we're able to do things like when it comes to leadership opportunities and challenges with people, we're able to see how long they're spending in accounts and be able to have coaching moments with those people at the fringes, right? Those people who are spending too much time or not enough time in our account providing that customer service. Okay? And then a couple other aspects. I broke down our capabilities, like I said, into sales, service, and commerce. So from a professional selling capability, we have a food service team of about 200 people who call on quick serve accounts, who call on Cisco, who call on some of our other food service reps. And we provided them with basic out-of-the-box CRM capability from Salesforce. They're able to now confirm what the selling objectives are from senior leadership and be able to take that all the way down to a distributor or an operator level. And it's all tracked and housed within our Salesforce implementation and org. And then the other aspect of sales is retail execution. We're able to say exactly what I talked about, that closed loop execution piece. But it takes it a step further, where we're giving advanced delivery notification. So when you saw a segmented workforce and a delivery driver is driving to an account and then a merchandiser is also showing up at the account, the way the two can marry at the same time is through that advanced delivery notification. I'm notifying the user that the delivery actually happened. And then survey capability is something more which we're looking at implementing in 2020, where we have the ability to survey our accounts. When it comes to service, it's labor management, where we're providing a schedule for every one of our employees, and then confirming, like I said, with GeoAssist, how long they're spending in stores, so we're able to coach, and then being able to use algorithms and AI to be able to get smarter based on the data that's generated. And then lastly, with leadership tools and stickiness and adoption, that's about providing coaching opportunities. And then our implementation, we implemented with IBM, IX team, a user design principle, as well as agile principles in order to be able to develop rapidly and through Scrum methodologies and agile processes.
So a little bit about the approach, kind of the how we got to where we are today. There are some key tenets, and I must say that Frito-Lay was very committed to a lot of these tenets before IBM even came on scene, right? And so I think that's to their acknowledgement that they had been putting design first. They had been putting the customer experience at the heart of what they were doing. They were already dedicated to agile methodologies. And all of these things were starting the process of fueling their transformation. They were very dedicated to the transformation process, as well as fueling those tracks with innovation. And so I think that that's really the synergy, and that's really the key component of what is helping Frito-Lay to excel at the speed and scale that they are, is the ability to build those innovations out ahead of the transformation program, and for the transformation program to be able to pick up those innovations. And some of the ways that we've done that are through the core tenets of IBM design thinking, and through the lens of empathy and understanding these employees' experiences, what they do on a day in and day out basis, everything from how they're sustaining knee injuries, right? All the way to how many times they're looking at their device, and understanding exactly what information they need at the time they need it. An interesting thing, when we came sight on scene at Frito, they had prototypes of what they wanted to do everywhere. We found one, and we said, okay, and we started understanding that prototype, and then we uncovered a second one, and we uncovered a third.
Yeah, we had a lot of
and a sixth.
We had a lot of dead prototypes based on where we've been. It's kind of sad to say.
It was this graveyard of prototypes. And one of the things that we were able to do through a process we called the golden thread is visualize for them what you saw in the video. We were able to put on the walls and say, this is where you want to go, right? And this is how we're getting there. And it was almost as if the pennies fell for a lot of people, because they could see that they weren't just building a wall, but they were building the cathedral. And that unity and that rally cry behind the experience vision is what really started unlocking the ambition of where they're going and how they were going to accomplish it.
Yeah, we would get into a room and we'd come up with spreadsheet lists worth of what features we wanted to implement. And then we'd be asked, what's the value of that feature, right? Where we'd have to put actual dollar signs to. And it was going through rounds and rounds on these spreadsheets versus, hey, let's throw a design on the wall. And everyone could get wrapped around the design and how the components of the design all fit together to be able to develop an app that brings a consistent and a seamless user experience to life for our users, right? Something that doesn't require a lot of training, but it doesn't happen on spreadsheets. I can attest to that.
The difference in building a backlog based off the ambition of where you're going versus building a backlog from perceived business value is the difference in the program and the success that Frito's having. And that, again, that is the piece that helps glue the innovation and the transformation tracks together. The IBM Garage methodology, and obviously a key tenet of IBM Garage is IBM design thinking, is the process of observing, kind of reflecting in that iteration process over and over again, and then making those prototypes and eventually taking those out to end users. The IBM Garage methodology is the ability to drive transformation and innovation both at speed and scale. And I think that what you've seen with the video, it was accomplished in an extremely short amount of time based on these principles of being able to iterate, agile, DevOps, and a host of other agile attributions, really. But at the heart of it is the ability to co-create alongside of Frito-Lay. Certainly, hopefully, you don't feel that we came and did it to you, but that we did it with you.
Well, I'll give you an example. We bought Salesforce, and we had ideas where we would be able to throw our 25,000 users into the system and our 300,000 customers, and then just automatically it would spit out schedules, right? It would say, here's how you should best service your customers based on durations and calculations and all this good stuff, right? Things you'd see like in the AI universe, right? Well, we tried to make that come to life before our system was ready to deploy that type of capability, right? Whether it be like the change management process or people just weren't, we just didn't have the data to be able to do that, right? So we learned quickly that we had to hit pause on going out with a solution that was well ahead of our users and then come back a step. And we did that through, there was a bit of trial and error. We went out to a couple sites and they looked at it and they just said, this is wrong. This just totally doesn't relate to me, right? I went from working 40 hours to 20 hours. How am I going to feed my family, right? So we backtracked and we basically said, okay, let's go at it a little differently. And we got out quickly with, okay, what does it need to look like and how to make it happen? Now, I'll be honest, it wasn't an easy path, and it's still not an easy path. Salesforce isn't built for what we wanted it to do. So we had to build a lot of customizations on there. And the only way we learned it by going through, again, an agile development process, quickly learning, and being able to iterate to make it scalable.
Basically, and then I just summarizing some of the products that we did use. We used, of course, we've talked about Field Service Lightning. A lot of that's coming in the tasks and the scheduling and that type of work done. And then the other side of the model that we didn't talk too much about, Kevin, was the B2B commerce side, where this whole transformation is covering the whole breadth from the big box store all the way down to the smallest retailer you can imagine that would be buying products through the B2B Commerce Cloud app. We've also are utilizing both Einstein Analytics for some of the dashboards and reports, but actually some interesting experiments but growth with Einstein Discovery. As you all heard, any machine learning AI starts out basically as a little toddler and it has to learn slowly, and Einstein gets smarter and smarter. If you've played with Einstein, you know that, or any AI tool, it truly is learning. One of the things that Frito wanted to do with Einstein is on the B2B Commerce Cloud is be able to make recommended orders for small, let's say a small bodega in Manhattan, and the owner thinks he knows that everyone just buys Doritos, but Einstein can learn over time. It's like you're missing a big market because across the street people are really buying those Funyuns up like crazy. So maybe you need to do Doritos and Funyuns in your next order. But it's that type of learning that we're trying to make suggested orders to these folks based on their demographics, their type of business they are, whether they're a food truck or they're a convenience store or whatever they are. And so that's been an interesting journey just with the Einstein alone, just because of the capability. Because there's tons of data out there, but what you do with that data is really critical. So,
yeah, the Field Service Lightning and the CRM services a majority of our users, right? Our internal employees. So they're on an app. It's helping them understand where they need to be and what the expectations are in store. When it comes to B2B commerce, there are customers that we have a very difficult time servicing. They're very small. It's a difficult customer to get to. We allow them to shop on our e-commerce site. And we moved that e-commerce site to Salesforce last year, and we're about 12 months through implementation. We have 25,000 customers on the site. It's snackstoyou.com. And our customers order and get shipped via UPS within 4 days. This implementation was much faster than any SAP implementation that we've done. We were able to do this in an 8 to 10 month period. We had 26 different warehousing facilities that would fulfill these orders across the entire country that were ordered through one e-commerce system. And like I mentioned, there were 2,000 SKUs that Frito-Lay has. Well, each one of those warehouses offer a different SKU variety that service a different geography of customers, right? Just seems odd. If you can order e-commerce, it's like Amazon, you should be able to ship it anywhere. We didn't have that capability. But what we're doing is we shifted towards Salesforce B2B commerce, and we're also consolidating our warehousing facilities to offer a larger breadth of capability and assortment to our customers. Now, Wayne touched on what we're doing now is we're offering like artificial intelligence and recommended orders to our users so they can log in and they can have a better and more seamless experience where they can click on and do a one-touch order. We haven't gotten to subscription yet, but subscription is on our roadmap. But what we're trying to do is provide a recommended order where B2B, interesting learning. I mean, I didn't grow up in a B2B commerce space, but in learning what customers want out of a site, they want speed, efficiency, they want the ability to recommend and ability to grow their business. It's not very similar to a B2C, but there are certain aspects that are applicable. So we actually used some of our IX researchers to go out, talk to our customers, and come back and tell us what the feature set would be. But I recommend you go out and take a look at our site. It's, like I said, snackstoyou.com, and we're constantly innovating now. So we have a backlog of probably I don't know, 30, 40 features of what we want to do for the next year. And we're constantly, again, we're using the agile process to constantly refine our backlog and connecting with customers to see what is actually valuable to you. And the feedback we've gotten recently, I mean, we launched it like last week on recommended orders, was that our customers are loving it. They can go in and it gives them not just a blanket order of, hey, it's 6 of everything. It's unique to them. It's in each's, so it might be 3 of Doritos and it might be 7 of Lay's. And it really gives them a recommendation that's unique to them. Where we want to take that is give them a recommendation that's not only unique, but it also tells them where they might have opportunity, right? Where there might be a couple SKUs that are selling really well down the street that they don't have distributed in their particular store. Yeah?
Will you continue to focus on your smaller customers for those features and that new functionality?
Yeah, and that's what we're doing, and that's who we're meeting with. So we go out and connect with those users, but then we're also looking at where we can expand that to places that we don't service or we don't have distribution today who want some of that e-commerce self-service type of capability.
And I think with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Snacks to you, how do you spell that? Snacks to the number 2, the letter U, doesn't go to
FLS2U should, but snacks, SNACKS, the number 2 and YOU.com should take you there. If it didn't, send me the domain because we probably need to buy that domain.
Just talk a little bit about the training that's involved, your hourly. They were doing things one way, then they were doing things a different way. How to get people aboard and adopting training.
Yeah, so we took a couple approaches. So when we originally implemented, we had built self-service training where they could go through and at their own time, they could go through and learn it within 20 minutes. The in-classroom training, which our folks are used to, that's how we've done everything in the past, and we've done all major rollouts through a phased approach where they get an hour of communication, and then they get an hour of hands-on training, and they're separated by 4 weeks. We condensed that, and we made it available where they can do self-service. And we found that the more people that were adopting it were the folks that did self-service training. The folks that were going through and doing classroom training were were typically the people who were more resistant. And then we actually, for one of our capabilities, we've implemented WalkMe. And if you haven't heard about it, they're actually here at Dreamforce. And they do an overlay where it takes the user through the application. And so they're not learning in a training environment, they're learning on the actual production environment. And they're going through steps like if I have an employee call off for jury duty, right? They can type that into WalkMe, I have to change an employee's schedule, and it would take them through the steps and they'd be able to enter it directly in. And so they're actually learning while they're actually doing. So it, is kind of hopefully driving more adoption. We have metrics on it, but again, it's like we're probably 8 weeks into implementation. Yeah.
How many people were involved in the hands-on development?
Yeah, so we have, do you want to take that one?
There's approximate.
It depends. Everyone with a cell phone at Frito-Lay is a digital expert. But we have a mixed team. We have a team of business folks, and that's my team. And then we have a team of our IT and software folks that are internal PepsiCo employees. And then we have an IBM and Blue Wolf team who help support us.
There's roughly 10 Scrum teams, and then there are some supporting teams around that structure.
And so we're managing via safe agile methodologies, and we have one agile release train that we're running right now.
Looking at your basket recommendations, did you use ex-factory sales or did you use EPOS sales out from the stores? And if you were using ex-factory sales, how did you put that data in to start making the initial recommendations? Or did you have to wait for them to develop a purchase history before you got there?
So I'm the one who says, here's what I want it to look like, and here's the feature and the user story, along with these folks right here. Wayne's the guy who makes the Automagic stuff happen.
Yeah,
And Matt over back there, he can wave his hand.
as far as the learning the order, that's relatively new. And you're right, historical orders, that's kind of where, being a little naive walking into it, I go, well, we can make recommended order based on historical orders, or even historical orders of the whole demographic or the block. The fact of the matter is, you don't know if they're ordering the right stuff. They, for 20 years, could have been ordering the wrong stuff. So now you have to apply it a lot more different data, and so we're trying to make sure, and Frito-Lay over the years has collected enormous amounts of data.
Yeah.
They have data. That's not the issue. It's learning from that data and making sure you're learning the right stuff, because you might learn, case in point, I think the example that one of the folks on that team told me was truck stops. The demographic for that zip code might be totally different than the average person that stops at a truck stop driving across the country. So you have to know exactly what the industry is, and then look at the patterns within that industry, within that demographic. And so there's a lot of tuning, and we're just at the very early stages of doing that tuning on that recommended order.
Yeah, we have, for our e-commerce site, that's where we're implementing this tuning. On our traditional direct store delivery business, we have 4 different ways to calculate a replenishment order. And so we have, and we're not yet in the space where we're using like AI. We have a static algorithm for 3 different ways based on historical trends, based on point of sale data, and then based on a demand level at a disaggregated level. So we're building that back up. And then the 4th one, we're actually taking in customer forecasts and using that to determine what our product recommendation is going to be. So that's more on the DSD side, where a Frito-Lay employee is hitting the send button on the order. But on the recommended order we're doing on the B2B Commerce Cloud, it's actually the store owner or the store employee looking at the recommendation and then hitting submit. Yeah?
What are you sensing the level of engagement and interest from the independent customer? They're pretty busy people, got a lot going on, they're usually understaffed.
Yeah.
How much do they feel that you're really pushing your work on them, and are you sensing any kind of resistance? This is a channel that tends to be pretty resistant.
Yeah, we have, out of our 25,000 customers, a lot of them were on our previous NetSuite solution, and it didn't have a lot of functionality. It just went out there 4 or 5 years ago, and it stayed static throughout. it wasn't even mobile enabled, right? So if you think of that small customer owner, they're in front of their snack shelf and they're writing their order. Someone comes in, they have to put what they're doing down to check them out, right? So they wanted something that was fast, intuitive, and something like that we've gotten to now where we're recommending the order. So it has a lot of stickiness to it now. Previously, we've seen churn rates of almost up to 30 to 40% when they convert from our direct store delivery to self-service. We're seeing that number continue to come down over the last 12 months, where we're almost seeing like right around 85 to 90% adoption rate. Yeah,
But they
from those
also-
new converted customers.
I think a key component of that is they feel like they have the backing of Frito-Lay data behind it. So they're getting this recommendation, like, if you buy this curated bundle for you and your area, and based off all the information Frito has, they're more confident to try the recommended products or to try new products that they've never had on their shelf. Or, whereas before they were just ordering from the list, now they're ordering with confidence. And so not only are you able to get more brands out there, but the shop owner feels a part now of Frito-Lay. Whereas before, it was a guessing game. I'll try this, I'll order this.
Yeah, and one of the things we did, we were already live. We went live in just about like January of this year, right? We had a couple pilots prior to that. But when we went live, we were coming up with a host of capability that we wanted to do, like the recommended order, like product matching, like how well does this match to the demographic that's shopping in your area. We had this big list. One of the items was providing the customer data and almost like a dashboard to say, here's what you bought and here's how it's selling and those type of things. By going out and doing research and doing good user design, they were able to tell us, give me the recommendation first. Like, I don't care about the data. You can show me the data and how well we're selling later. I want to see what I should be buying. I want to see the profitability of it. Or I want to see that next item that I should do, or the next new item. They were more interested in those capabilities than being told what they've sold in the past, right? So now in what we're featuring, and you could swing by, we actually have a demo. What's the corner? It's right next to
Pocket Park.
Okay. Yeah, across from Moscone West, where we have some of these capabilities displayed. And you see like there's a product match as well as that recommended order. And you can kind of put yourself in the customer's shoes. Like, what would I want if I'm running a small business? Yeah.
So what would you say, both on the business side and the IT side, were your largest challenges that you overcame as part of the overall journey?
The biggest opportunity we had this year was probably scalability. So we implemented a solution early on in probably February, March, and we couldn't take it out to our 25,000 employees. We learned that pretty quick, so we put kind of like a SWAT team in place to fix that, and Wayne and team stood up some pretty good folks to be able to go and partner with Salesforce and figure out how to get a solution that we can get out to our 25,000 employees. That was probably the biggest issue that I'd say we faced. But from a standpoint of IT and running the integrations, we have a pretty solid team that we have a team who's working in an agile framework, and then this integration and data team works with all these waterfall type of project teams. And I tell you, there's a team that's worked masterfully to be able to navigate that whole space.
I think from a business perspective, it was the ability to get those features aligned to what was previously an all technology roadmap, right? And really finding out how to drive business value versus an Excel sheet of features.
Yeah, I'd tell you, if I had a chance to go back and, probably with, I'd hope you'd all join me too, with these folks and go back and do it again. I think we probably would have started less of a big bang approach and going to 25,000 folks and saying, how do we make it work for one of our 120 zones? So we break up the country into 120 sales zones. Let's just go to a local zone, understand from them all the pain points, all the opportunities that they have, and stand it up as fast as possible right? But quickly identify where Salesforce is the right solution and potentially where we need to go and do something off platform and integrate later, right? Because we went out and, you know, it's probably due to the structure of Frito-Lay, but we have processes by which we get funding, and we fund projects, unfortunately, versus programs. And we stood that up, we did the spreadsheet math, we said here are the features, and then it's go deploy it, right? Versus taking a more of a kind of a segmented approach, start with that zone, make it come to life, learn, and then continue to roll out.
Their iterations were very big iterations.
Massive.
But I think they very masterfully were able to cut that in half again, and now their iterations are very small with very small stories.
Yeah. Like with our B2B commerce, we made that like a massive piece of work, and it took us 6 to 8 months to get it out the door. But once we got that out the door, we started hearing from our users. We started figuring out what we need to do, and we started rapidly doing like feature refinement. And we identified that we had a issue with payment processing, right? So heck with the recommended feature, we need to fix this, right? Or else we're not going to be able to invoice and be able to provide that capability. So, you know, I think we've learned a lot along the way. We are getting the blinking light. We're out of time, but we'll stick around if you have any additional questions for us. Thanks for your time.